Hello and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. Today's video is sponsored by our Amazon affiliate link, which you'll see in the comments section below. Also, down in the description section, you will see video links to any videos I mentioned in this video, including this series. So this is the final video in this 6-part series on repotting houseplants. So I've been taking you through the various stages of the repotting so that you can have the best success repotting your houseplants. So we are in the final stage here, and that is with Marvin here, who was the star of this series, so he's very happy to be here. He's also really happy to be in his brand new pot, so he is excited to show that off to you. So in this video, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the aftercare after you pot up your houseplant or houseplants. So one thing you want to keep in mind, obviously, is to put them in the correct exposure in terms of lighting. I have videos on that as well. The Dracaena, this is a Dracaena fragrance, also commonly known as a corn plant. And so Marvin here needs to be in medium light. Very bright, direct light would burn his little leaves, and Dracaena can go even into lower light situations and they do well, although the medium light is their favorite place to be. So I will be putting him in the correct light. And also watering, that's a big one. People want to know about the watering after repotting. A plant, remember this, you've taken the plant out of the pot. It's been a little stressful for them. You have put them in moist soil as I show you. You have also watered them thoroughly after repotting. They're moist, they're gonna stay moist. The thing to remember is they need to acclimate to their new soil, their new pot, and it could take them a little while. So they're gonna sit there for a little while. They're gonna drink, but they're not gonna drink maybe as much as they usually drink, because they are going to be in a transplant mode and acclimating mode. Once you start to see new growth on the plant, that tells you that the plant has adjusted to its new home, and at that point it will probably start to drink more water. I'm telling you this because sometimes this plant may very well still be moist a week from now. So I will not be watering him, because if I do, I can set him up just to root rot, and that's something obviously I don't want to do. If you have had problems with that, however, I do have a series on root rot and reviving plants from root rot. Okay, so watering, you want to test for water. With most plants, you want to check with a moisture meter if you can, or your finger. And right now he is extremely wet. It's showing completely all the way to the wet side, and I'm not surprised because I just watered him. So what I want to look for when it is time to water him will be that, and we're going to be in about the 4 range on this particular moisture meter, and a lot of them are about the same too. And that is like 4, almost going into the red, 3. And I like to call that approaching dryness. So it is not bone dry, and it's still not wet, but it's still moist-ish a little, but it's definitely in a day or two going to be dry. So you want to get the plant before it gets to that dry, especially a newly repotted plant, because the plant is very fragile because it has just been repotted. So, however, don't overdo it and think, oh my gosh, I need to keep watering the plant because I repotted it. That's not necessary. You want to look at the soil. When the soil tells you it's time to water, that's when you water. If you're concerned, say it's really hot out, you've done this in the summertime, repotting, by the way, is fine to do most times of the year. The only time I suggest not doing it, depending on which hemisphere, and depending on your hemisphere, of course, is the winter time. So for whatever your hemisphere is, your winter time, when it's really cold out, the plants are growing very slowly or not growing at all, I would wait. And that's pretty much like from December, Western Hemisphere, December, January, February-ish. You could even start maybe beginning in mid to late February, but especially the December and January. And most people are really busy at that time of year anyway, so not the ideal time to repot. However, if you do, that's fine too. I've done that as well. You can also always try it. So say the air is very dry from if it's really hot out or it's dry out and you're a dry climate, or you've got the heater on or you've got the air conditioner on and you're concerned because about the plant. You can mist the plant with a very fine mist, and the plants have stomata, which they will then absorb the moisture into their leaves. So that will keep them hydrated above, but you won't be over watering and keeping the soil too wet, which will lead to root rot. So that's another thing you can consider if you're concerned that things are too dry for the plant until it's time to water again. When you do water again, what you want to do is you want to soak when it's time, you want to soak the soil very well till the water's running out the bottom of the pot, and then wait again to re-water. Fertilizing. You don't want to start fertilizing until the plant has put on some new growth. So initially you'll see little leaves coming out, which tells you it's become established in its pot. But wait until those first little leaves grow to a good size leaf, because when you repot, you're potting in soil that already has fertilizer in it anyway. So wait until those first few leaves get a little bit bigger, and then maybe you're starting on the next growth cycle of the next leaves, then you can fertilize. I have my Green Gourmet houseplant food, which I use to repot, and which I do then re-fertilize with. It's a granular fertilizer. You can also use liquids. When you do fertilize, use an organic fertilizer, and ideally use it at half strength, the liquids, because they do tend to really get to the root zone. So use it at half strength. Worm compost is another great thing to add in to the soil, or even mulch with on top of the soil, to give some micronutrients too. You also want, this is a time after you're done repotting, to do something fun, like add to the plant some of these really cool, I really like these cool plant pot hugger things. So I decide, like, okay, do I want the owl or do I want the little elf guy? So this is a fun time to do, especially if you're waiting to water and you don't know what else to do. You can go ahead and decorate your plant pot as well. I think I'm going to go with the owl. I like the look of the owl. So there you got that going on. And another thing that I talk about at the end of the last video after repotted is labeling the plant. So as I mentioned on there, and in that video I couldn't find the label, but it was right in front of me, but I put on this label, I put the soil mix, which was Pro Mix BX, that I put worm castings into the soil when I planted. I used my Green Gourmet houseplant food as well. The Pro Mix has mycorrhizae in it, which is another great additive. I put the name of the plant, and I also put the date that it was repotted, because you will be surprised. You may think, oh, didn't I just repot that plant? And you're looking like, oh my gosh, that was a whole year ago. Yeah, no wonder the plant is looking like it needs to be repotted. These I will stick in there so I get a good, and if you don't like the looks of it, you can always kind of bury it. One thing I like to use, if possible, is pencil. Pencil, even when you bury it, even when you water it, it doesn't tend to go away. So the writing doesn't tend to go away. Believe it or not, permanent marker with some watering will go away. It will be gone, and then you can't remember, and then you can't see what you did. So, and these actually was really cool. I had some old mini blinds that were taken out and replaced with newer ones. So if you have access to any old mini blinds, these work great. So these will last for years and years, and you can erase the pencil part when you want, and you reuse them again too. So another fun fact of recycling, reusing, sustainability, etc. So that is about it. When you water with warm to tepid water, as I always advise. Keep an eye on the plant, obviously, for any pests and diseases and that sort of thing. And talk to the plant and congratulate the plant for getting adjusted into his or her new home. And so that is it for these repotting series. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.